Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to another live stream of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, October 18th, and we've got something with a new update being announced, which is a little weird because we're a little short of the 5,000 I would want to get 50 packs, and we're not even halfway towards the 100 packs that I would have liked to have had. Play 50 Shaman cards, win 5 games with a Paladin or Priest, or what we need to get at least one of those done. We have a Tavern Brawl, and with the new update, it told me that I needed to get all the arena runs done. So that's an interesting twist, because now, I guess, I haven't even used this in a while. I guess we need to do an arena run. So Paladin, and Priest, or Shaman. We've already purchased the arena run, so I could do Paladin or Shaman, and I'm gonna have to launch the program for the Hearthstone Arena Helper, whatever, Hearth Arena, that's what it's called, right? And it's probably gonna want to update, and frankly, some of these updates on Overwolf and all of this is downright scary, because it seems like it's all full of ad things, spyware, maybe. I don't even know. Maybe there's nothing wrong with it, maybe there is, but let's just see if this works. Says it's verifying configuration. We might as well use Hearth Arena. Might as well cheat. Everybody else uses it. But okay, I think we've got this. Alright, good. So, Paladin or Shaman? Well, since Shaman... Well... Shaman or Paladin? Shaman or Paladin? We can play either one. Who do I want to play today? Let's do Shaman and see if this works. So, the best pick, as I probably would have guessed, would have been this to start off with. And as far as I know, Hearthstone fixed the synergy picks, and those aren't a thing anymore. If they are still a thing, then we are in kind of a bad position. It's a bad position to be using the arena things, but it tells me it wants me to finish the arenas before the new patch that happens in, I believe, 5 days. So we've got 3 arena runs to do today, on top of it makes a lot of sense to do the Tavern Brawls. So there's going to be a lot of work today. I'm planning going forward, as things just get adjusted and changed on scheduling, I'm planning to wait until around 4 o'clock in the evening. Wow, these are some awful picks according to Hearth Arena. So today I've already recorded a couple of recordings, like maybe an hour and a half worth of pre-recorded footage. That seems like that is a good way to work. Man, I'm getting some bad picks. It allows me to get some work done before I lock myself into spending the rest of the day either being exhausted from live streaming or live streaming directly. So yeah, also I feel that 4 o'clock Central Time, US Central Time, is probably the right move. I don't think doing it earlier helps anybody. Even 4 o'clock may be too early. Like waiting till 5, 6, or 7 o'clock for a real primetime attempt would make sense, but it would also almost guarantee that some runs run well into 2 or 3 in the morning when we hit those bad setups of like just bad runs of losing in Hearthstone. And so, yeah, making slight adjustments, trying to figure things out. That one clearly is a good pick. In fact, I think I'm getting a pretty good deck here. But honestly, does it matter? Not one bit. Like, let's go for 12 wins, yay, but in reality, even a good deck, even a Hearth Arena deck, has a decent chance of losing 3 times in a row. And I think I'll probably not even try to... I'm probably not even going to try to go through the news or anything right now. Let's just focus on the gameplay. Let's see, so get rid of that, get rid of that. Try to play the best we can. I've really given up on ranked play. Like I said I was gonna try it. I did try it for a month. It felt like I spent a lot of extra time on it, and in the end didn't get any further than I get normally. I don't know what the deal is with people that can get up to like rank 13. They're either better players, or they've got better cards, or they just play more. And I think it really comes down to they play more. I think the people that get to Legendary, they get to rank 13, they even get up to like rank 15, are playing so often, that, like non-stop. And I just don't have a schedule for that. It just won't work. I don't know what the real strategy is for this deck. There really isn't a strategy. It's just play the cards at the best time in Arena. And that's probably where I'm the weakest, is the idea of just not knowing the right times to play cards. Like, here's a good example. They could probably just kill those two and kill my character. Is that good or bad? I don't know.
Reporting for duty.
I need to kill this character though. Transform a friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more. The glory is mine. See, I wonder if I could bring this back. And this character, not this character, but a character like this, the Flappy Bird character that everybody calls Flappy Bird, is going to be banned from a arena run going forward. It seems like you're going to have a 2-player arena run in the next expansion. I do have an article about that, so maybe I could find that one article and talk about that, and talk about what I think about that first. Let's go with this, and then this, and then remove this. And then take this, and then pump this one up.
The game begins.
Let's see. There's a decent number of news events that happened.
The sun has set for me.
Let's, if I can find that one article though, that I want to talk about that one more than anything else right now. 2 damage to 2 random characters. Didn't do. Let's see. What if we did this instead? Let's see. There it is. So, Hearthstone players getting dual class arena mode next week, plus a couple of free packs. So, I'm seeing a picture here, and there's a Mage Warlock, Mage Warrior, Mage Priest combination. And you know what? That isn't a terrible thought for just like a permanent thing to do.
I got the beast in my sight.
Like the idea of being able to give any hero ability to any hero class probably doesn't change too much. All the characters, all the heroes are gonna get kind of Frankensteinian outfits. Vicious Fledgling is the bird that's going to be not allowed. Let's see. This and get rid of this.
Gotcha.
And attack. Some bug fixes. There's going to be a new Warlock skin called Nimsy Necrofizzle. You need to but you can only get the skin by going to a fireside gathering, which, man, they promote those things, but I, 1, don't want to go to them, and 2, even if I was going to go to them, then they wouldn't. Let's see. I guess we killed this one. Then kill this one. Then attack this one.
Job's done.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna win here.
Well played.
So let's see. We got Cake Boss on the chat, so saying hi. Hashtag intense wow, he got double adapted. What in the world is playing right now? Oh my goodness. This ad keeps this app free for everybody. And so now you're going to get me content ID'd, stupid game. Look, bye to you. So yeah, Hearth Arena, now full of ads. What garbage. Let's just double check and make sure Hearth Arena and Overwatch is now... Overwolf is completely closed.
Morgo versus Uther.
I
See,
will.
can't even figure out how to close the stupid thing. Might have to use the Control-Alt-Delete to get rid of it. So much for paying attention and trying to get victory. It really gets down to this. Cake Boss, do you read chat when playing matches? Usually I do if I don't care and usually I don't care about winning. Right now I'm doing an arena run, and I would actually like to try to succeed here. But everybody can take note that I'm usually going to at least look at chat, and if something comes to my eye as it's violating the rules that are over here, you may get banned and I may still not respond to you. So follow the rules. Just end the turn here. It seems very odd Hearthstone is just doing this Halloween themed expansion. I guess it's just, this is going to be a small thing. It's going to, if you log in between October 24th and 30th, you get the free Whisper of the Old Gods pack and an arena ticket. That's why I'm doing this. And then I guess that also buys them some time for the next expansion. Let's play this. This is probably the wrong one to play. But yeah, it doesn't seem like they're announcing any new cards. It doesn't seem like they're doing anything else.
Out of my jungle.
So, ideally, maybe we'll get another 3 months. If we're lucky. Another 3 months in which we can do daily quests and get... Go away. Save up our gold. Let's see. Can we now start to actually succeed here? Play the coin. And I guess play this. And the game is kind of slowing down too, so I'm suspecting that I probably could start covering the news, which is what I mainly do on the live streams. Covering the video game news, if there is video game news. There's actually a very interesting turn of events. I follow a Facebook group of video game fans. Just personally, I don't post anything to it really, or do anything. I'm just watching what normal people want and what normal people are doing, instead of having all of my information being built around what, say, a video game reporting site might be saying.
Side effects?
And
No. Trust me.
one of the a question came up about who can I go to? I'm tired of watching GameSpot. I'm tired of listening to IGN. They have too many opinions. They're not giving out just the facts about video games. There's very little actual journalism in video games in the first place. It's just people repeating what the press release says, or often people repeating what other sites report. And a significant number of suggestions were go to YouTube. Find somebody on YouTube that you believe, trust in. Because I think there is a swelling amount of people that are tired of getting their information from the exact same sources, and they're getting tired of their sources, those sources in general, those sources specifically, actually, and even though undeniably a lot of people on YouTube are annoying to a lot of people, there's so much so much diversity there as far as your options that you can almost certainly find somebody you like.
Job's done.
Cake Boss has been talking, and he says the Master of Evolution sounds beastly, and he says I have Twitter. Okay, good. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link is down in the description. I use Twitter personally, and that was one of the suggestions I said to this person, is that if you want to do a lot of filtering, you can just follow almost all the video game companies on Twitter and follow a selection of video game reporters on Twitter, video game reporting sites, and then filter out the bias. But it takes a lot of work. That's what I do. That's where I get all my news. I'm looking right now at a PC Gamer article. I always have to filter those articles through the question about, is this really an article written by somebody who cares, or is this an advertisement hidden as an article? Because they do a lot of that. And it's very easy to be deceived, and that is their intent. I find Twitter is very good for listening to big companies and brands and famous people who like to shout out into the void, but don't really want or aren't even really capable of having direct communications. I think of Facebook more as you're actually wanting to have some communication with the people that you're friends with, whereas people that follow you on Twitter, you're like, I'm willing to shout out to you, but I'm not gonna follow you or listen to anything you say, or I might follow you and mute you. That's why Twitter really has failed to succeed as a replacement for something like Facebook. Cake Boss says you're gonna win. It's anytime I make that claim early, it doesn't work out well for me. Just to put that out there. Every time I think I'm about to win, the tides turn, and then I end up losing. Let's see.
This might
Do
sting.
this, and this, and this. This is gonna be a 7-7. But if I get rid of this, I should be alright. 11 attacks, says Cake Boss. Cake Boss, I can already tell, is going to be one of my favorite types of chatters for a while at least, because he's going to put lots of comments, and lots of comments are all YouTube cares about when streaming live. It's the reason why my pre-recorded videos aren't streamed really, because if I was streaming what I do when I pre-record videos, I would just disable the chat, and then the live stream wouldn't get any views anyways, or very little views. And it would just ruin the whole scheduling and surprise. Like, I can't see myself becoming like a 24-hour, always live news network equivalent of a YouTube channel and doing everything live. I need, in most games, I need to focus on the actual game, and just so I can do relatively good, and just the thought and the extra pressure of being watched live would probably mess me up a little bit. But on Hearthstone, it usually doesn't matter, and that's why I picked Hearthstone to be the one to live stream, is because I've been playing Hearthstone for a couple of years now. You're gonna win or lose mostly based on randomness more than anything else. Let's see. Destroy any frozen thing. Let's take this card. Give a friendly minion +1 attack.
Your peace.
And then let's take it back. Interesting. There's a lot of back and forth on these battles in Hearthstone, where early game and mid game can often not really matter at all. What often happens is your opponent will have 5 cards and you will play your last 3 in one turn, and then you're out of options. So it's not a great way to I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. It's kind of annoying. Like, it's not the greatest game ever, Hearthstone. It could use a lot more improvement. Next turn, I can play this, hopefully, and destroy this, and get 5 down. Let's see, Kickbuster Mouse, cursor is creepy. Oh, is it doing that thing again? I just updated OBS and, like, is it doing the flickering thing? I haven't seen it flicker in a while. The mouse cursor in itself is... I can't really affect whether it looks creepy because of its animation or not, but if it's doing the flickering, I thought I'd finally fix that. I had to force Hearthstone to specifically only run at 30 frames per second when it should be running at 60 frames per second. Okay, is that a ghost dog with a stick in its mouth? Where? Did he play that one? Arfus? Yep. That is a ghost dog with a hand in his mouth. That's part of the Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion, the most recent expansion. He is the dog of Arthas. So it's Arthas, and his dog is Arfus. And Arthas is a paladin character, not this one, that turned into the Lich King, from best I can tell. And see, this might be where the turnaround starts to happen. If I can get rid of this, and he's got no cards to really play in these 4 cards, which is not a great chance that that is the case. Yeah, the cursor is just an eyeball. Like, I don't know if it means anything other than that. It just is, you have an eyeball until you can play, and then when you can play, it'll turn from an eyeball.
Speak your peace.
Attack here. Attack here. Like, now, maybe we could suspect we might win. Yep. He just healed a lot, and he probably didn't play Reno Jackson. And most people who can construct a deck will play Reno Jackson, which is a card which will send you right back to your maximum health if you don't have any duplicates. Now, I'm playing Arena, which means both players were given a choice of 3 random cards for their entire deck of 30 cards. So they may not have Reno Jackson, but a lot of people still get it and still succeed. And there's plenty of other ways to heal. And this is a relatively late game we're playing, but it's not atypical. Blizzard is so built around making sure everybody has a 50% win ratio at all times that you get so far away from a regular single player game where you may die once or twice in a 60-hour experience. In Hearthstone, it's like you lose over and over and over again because you have to play against other people. Or you can play in practice mode, which doesn't count for anything and is a waste of your time. Summoning a 1/1 is a weak power. All of the hero powers are designed to be weak. There's a card that upgrades them, but it's not. The hero power is never going to really save you, except for in some very rare instances. If this guy had survived, I could have won by playing this on him. I still might be able to win if I'm careful. Let's see. If he can do 3 more damage, however, he's gonna win right now. Swap the attack and health of a minion. Which that is not going to help anything at all. So I've lost. OMG bomb. And see, I wouldn't have even played the arena run. I wouldn't have even done the arena run if I hadn't already pre-purchased entry, and Hearthstone, Blizzard, the creator of Hearthstone, said that they were going to give us free entry to arena runs. So I need to finish the arena run, not only for my Americas account, which is what I'm playing now, but I also need to do an arena run for my European and Asian accounts too. And I suppose we're making progress as far as one of the daily quests, and that's really all I need to do today is get one of the 2 available daily quests done, and then I'll be back on Friday and I can get those daily quests done later. Yeah, Cake Boss, that's pretty basic stuff in Hearthstone. You must be really new to the game. Let's see. And there, I just managed to hit the wrong button and mess up my chat. What in the world just happened there? Cake Boss says yes, frowny face. Well, yeah, well, I can say 2 things will potentially happen. Is one, you will either learn to love and or put up with Hearthstone, or you'll play with it for a little while and then get bored of it and then leave. And then if you ever come back to it after about 6 months, you'll be so far behind that you probably wouldn't want to get back into it. Like, it's a major problem with Hearthstone. It's very rough on new players. It's very expensive if you want to have all the cards. It's just kind of greedy in general. But the people that stick with it can learn to enjoy it and use it as their general time waster. It is a decent cell phone game / PC game. If you're commuting and have nothing better to do, it makes a lot of sense to play Hearthstone. But if you've got better games to play, you probably find something better to keep you entertained with. The thing I like about Hearthstone and that keeps me coming back to it more than anything else is the fact that it's relatively slow paced. You have to wait for the other player to play, and that gives me enough time to shift 50% of my attention away from actually playing Hearthstone so I can cover the news. Otherwise, I would just be reading out video game news without any video footage at all, and that would be pretty boring. I guess that's why when you look at your TV news, there's just cameras pointing to people talking, and then they fill the screen with a bunch of streaming text. And I guess the other way I could do it is I could just show the articles that I'm reading when I'm reporting on the news, but then might as well just cut out the middleman. Cake Boss says, I'm into adventure games. I like Skyrim and Zelda. Well, I recently played Skyrim Remastered, which was the second time I played Skyrim. And actually it was the first time I played the DLC of Skyrim. Skyrim's an incredibly long game, but I have that entire series. And I enjoyed playing it, even though it's a kind of old game now too. And then Zelda is a Nintendo game, and Nintendo doesn't let anybody stream anything on that, so I'll never play a Nintendo game on YouTube, and anybody that does usually ends up regretting it a lot. Let's see if we give this and we do this, we can get rid of this character. I play a lot of point and click adventure games. Lots of playlists for different games there, but those are slightly different. Adventure is really hard to narrow down these days because all games are combinations of different genres. So you may have something like Borderlands that's a first-person shooter, but it has RPG elements in it, and almost all first-person shooters now have some kind of RPG elements in them. Let's kill that. And then do this. He says, Cake Boss says, I play Oblivion, which is even older than Skyrim. I've thought about going back to some of the earlier Elder Scrolls games. There's probably plenty of time because they're not even going to really start to work on the next Elder Scrolls game until Elder Scrolls Online stops making Bethesda money. So yeah, I've thought about doing Oblivion, but it looks rather bad, and the graphics are just low, and the modding doesn't seem like it's quite high enough to imply the idea that you could mod Oblivion into looking even as good as Skyrim. And even when I did play Skyrim, I had to be realistic about it and not do most of the caverns and caves just because of the repetitiousness of that game. Like, I didn't want to spend 300 hours playing for YouTube Skyrim a second time. I'd more prefer to play some of the Fallout games and keep it more balanced. Do a Fallout, then do an Elder Scrolls, then do another Fallout. Also, I'd have to put in that I'd covered The Witcher 3, and I'd like to go back and replay the older Witcher games, but they're probably too old. There's quite a lot of games in my collection of games on Steam that I ended up just having to label as too old, that they wouldn't run on modern computers, or they just look too bad, or they play too badly. Like the original Hitman is a great example. It doesn't even run correctly. It runs at like 5 times the original speeds. I think Bethesda's probably missing an opportunity to release a small episodic, I wouldn't want to go really episodic, but like a small story-based single-player experience of just one character. One of the things that struck me about Skyrim is that if they had just released a game where you were playing as the Thieves Guild quest, and you started as a random character, and your journey ends once you become the leader of the Thieves Guild and you've done all of those quests. That alone would have been a very interesting 15-hour story. And they could do that now. It's just like, here's the tale of not a dragonborn, but just a master thief that was well known. And you could certainly have a game that was darker for the Assassin's quests, and you could have another one for the Civil War element. There's about 5 separate games you could break Skyrim into. Keep it a little bit more compact. Release those every couple of years or every year, and keep people playing Skyrim. Even if it was just going to be DLC that all got added into what Skyrim is today, you could certainly keep people's attention for longer. Let's see. Skyrim's my favorite, says Cake Boss. The main story is cool. If Bethesda makes a game, it will be a huge game. That is what they do, and it's probably one of the biggest complaints you can make about Elder Scrolls as a series. The story part is the good part of the game, Elder Scrolls, but the repetition of the exact same Draugrs for 120 hours, and I swear I spent at least 6 hours just crafting things and smelting things, crafting, smelting, recrafting, getting my level in smithing to the maximum 100, then resetting it so I could use that for some reason to go legendary on it. They've already got the base of a very big game. They could go a little bit smaller. You can, if they embraced maybe just 10% of what Telltale does, where they did The Walking Dead as just this episodic short story, mostly focused around conversation and decisions, I would think that's more accessible to a lot of people. Because it's a daunting task. It's even more daunting now to tell somebody to play Skyrim than it was when it originally came out. When it originally came out, that was the game of the year. That was the game of the month. Like, there was nothing else out to play for people who were playing that game. Now you have to compare this old game that's versus all the other games that have come out since, plus all the games that are coming out now. And sadly, after spending probably 100 hours recording footage on Skyrim, my final decision on it is like, yeah, it's a good game, but don't waste your time on it. Don't play it. There's certainly a lot of people that do love Skyrim and get into it, but if you have other games in your library, it's gonna suck your life away. And there's really no accelerated path. I haven't even seen a mod that can nicely speed things up without also ruining the game. Some basic things can fix it. If you get rid of being overburdened, that's a super helpful thing to mod into Skyrim. But fast traveling still takes too long to load. Conversation takes too long to happen. Let's see. Cakeboss says, I've had Skyrim for 3 years and I still haven't 100% completed yet. And I don't think technically you can. You can do all of the pre-programmed main story quests and main side quests, but it's designed to give you more quests no matter what. So even if you murdered every single NPC character in the entire game, which would eliminate probably a decent number of opportunities for quests, they've still got workarounds around that though. You would just have a courier run up to you after a while and give you a letter that tells you to go to a cave and find an item in a chest at the end of the cave, and even if it's a cave you've already done, it will still do that. So there really is no finishing Skyrim. It goes on forever. See if I could wait till the 8th turn and survive.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Let's see if this works. Nope, that didn't really work. Cake Boss says, to be honest, I feel like some quests are way too long in Skyrim. There's a ton of them that could be edited down. And I know that there's things I would have liked to do and I just gave up on them. It's like, I wanted to get all of the legendary weapons. What are those called? Daedric weapons. And I wanted to do all the dragon masks, and there was a lot of caves I wanted to do, but even from the beginning I knew I'm going to do the main story, and I'm going to do the guild story, and I'm going to do the DLC. And I tried really hard to rush and not go anywhere that wasn't directly on the path towards what I needed to have done. Let's see, give a friendly minion immune this turn. Let's go ahead and give this one immunity and kill this guy. And the other issue that's always really easy to forget about Bethesda games and Skyrim games and Fallout games in general is they're buggy. There's just always some weird bugginess that every single player runs into. Like, there's no getting around it. So there's a lot that could be polished in the next Bethesda game development if they were actually working on it, but right now what they're making is just Elder Scrolls Online, and they're not going to do anything else until that stops making money. Cake Boss says, also it makes no sense you can become the leader of the mages, thieves, assassins at the same time. Yeah, it makes no sense in the game world, and it makes no sense in just general writing. You would think all of those people would be different characters, and that there should be 5 main characters that you play as throughout Skyrim. it hurts the history of that time period, because the next Elder Scrolls game will probably be a couple hundred years in the future of when Skyrim happens, and while it's a little odd to recognize it, actually Skyrim is set, I think, a few thousand years ahead of what Earth time would be. And there's just... Alright, let's see. Just play that. So the next game will be a couple hundred years in the future, and there will just be this story of a dragonborn who either canonically did or did not do all of these elements in Skyrim. And it feels like they also are just planning on adding like 1 or 2 other continents to what Skyrim already was. And so the next game won't be that much bigger anyways, which is probably a good thing. And there we have it. 3 losses and 1 victory. The second worst way you could end. And my Hearthstone deck tracker app wants to know how much dust I got, which was 30 dust. So you pay 150 to get into an arena run, 150 gold. A pack is worth 100 gold, and dust, about 30 dust, is worth, well, we'll see, but I would guess it's about 25 gold. So I probably lost 25 gold on that, just because I didn't win enough. But I needed to do it because I had already purchased the entry ticket, and it specifically told me to not have any purchased. It's kind of sad though, the 2 times I've played a long-running adventure fantasy game, both The Witcher 3 and Skyrim Remastered, both of those have been played relatively close to when the game was brand new. I've never really been like, I'm going to play this game as soon as it's available, and even if I try to cover a game on YouTube when something's available, there's still too many companies that had early access and already have videos up. But I've aired those relatively when they came out. The remaster of Skyrim when it came out, The Witcher 3 when it came out. Neither one of those series, both of which had a lot of content made for them, got very many views at all. So they took a lot more effort for no real reward, which kind of sucks. So typically, if you get a pack and you have duplicates of all 5 cards, like I do, you'll get 1 rare and 1 common. That turns into 40 dust. I got 25 before, so maybe it was closer to 150 when I got 1 pack and 25 dust. Maybe not. No, because I'm trying to do math in my head. But in my instance, I have 1,000 dust, and really I'm just saving up 1,000 dust until I can craft a legendary classic. As new players, you should try to have all of the classic cards, 2 of everything that you can have 2 of, before you go into anything else, because these other kinds, like Old Gods and Karazhan and Gadgetzan and Unguru and Frozen Throne, are eventually going to get banned and become wild sets like League of Explorers, Grand Tournament, Blackrock Mountain, Gnomes vs. Goblins, and Nyxramus. And that means that on standard play you can't play them. So in general you want a 100% classic set before you even start to think about crafting any other cards. There's some rough changes there. And what did we do as far as playing shaman cards? I just need to play more shaman cards, and that won't be too big of a deal. Let's see. See if the shop has changed anything. these aren't even being announced as going away, so I don't know if maybe they're just never gonna bother to get rid of Whisper of the Old Gods, but they have gotten rid of some of the older packs. Karazhan is the only thing you can purchase right now, and the new faceplate is only by Fireside Gatherings. I also need to get the Tavern Vault done for the Americas account, so I'm going to break up this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos, because all of that helps me with YouTube, tells them that my video is worth watching, and then maybe if I'm really lucky, YouTube will actually promote the video to new people. If you want a friend or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, all of those links are down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.